Welcome to the Commercial Kitchen Chronicles, the original food service equipment repair podcast built by technicians for technicians. Whether you're on the front lines of repair, keeping the kitchen running smoothly, or just passionate about the food service repair industry, this podcast is your go-to source for expert insight, tech tips, and real stories from the field. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Commercial Kitchen Chronicles. I'm your host, Pat Finley. I'm flying solo tonight on the host duties, but I do have a guest. We have Jacob, and I'm probably going to butcher your last name. Caira?
Caira's right, yeah.
Okay, so the only reason I will say this, the only reason I knew it was that is because my daughter had a girl she went to school with, and her name was Caira, and it's spelled just like that. So it's got to be Caira.
Oh, wow. Yeah, there's not many of us out there.
That was her first name. But I appreciate you coming on, and we're going to get into you just a second. But first, I got to do this ad for my friends at Viper. I really appreciate them supporting the show and everything they do for myself and this industry. So here we go. Looking for the toughest chemicals in the game? Viper from Refrigeration Technologies has you covered. From coil cleaners to leak detection and everything in between, Viper products are designed by techs for techs, built to handle the nastiest jobs without wrecking your equipment. If you want reliable performance, safe chemistry, and products that actually work the way they should, grab Viper and get after it. So thank you, Viper, and thank you, Jacob, for joining. I know we talked back and forth a little bit in the past, and I'm going to tell the truth here. I am the worst person at booking this kind of stuff, and I kind of drug my feet, and I was like, I had a list. I got a list on my phone. I did make a note list, and I had like everybody's list on there. I was like, hey. So I went through it. I was like, okay, I'm going to reach out to you, and you happened to jump on. I really appreciate you coming on and telling your story. So let's just get into it. How old are you?
I just turned 26 on the 15th.
Just turned 26. So
yeah,
some guys get mad when I do this. Well, some of the older guys get mad when I do this. So we have that Young Gun series, and technically you fall in there. We quantify as anyone under 30 years old that are making a difference in the trade. But it just seems like every time I post that, I'll have some 45-year-old guy throwing a fit, and I'm like, well, you don't ever reply when I would do it, ask for anybody else. But as soon as I say a young gun, like these people get all butthurt about it. I just think it's hilarious, but it is what it is. But I appreciate you coming on, man. You've got a pretty cool story. 26 years old, and you've got quite a list of accomplishments already and some pretty lofty goals.
Yeah. I started when I was 18. So
yeah, I wish I would have started this industry at 18. I was too busy being an electrician. I waited about 25 to get started, 24, and I wish I would have found it earlier, man. This industry's been a blessing to me. It's helped turn my life around, and I really owe it a lot. So I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah. I mean, I watch the show all the time, so it's an honor to be on.
That's cool. It's fun, man. I really love just talking to people like you and hearing stories and seeing the differences it's made people's lives. It's truly a blessing, really. So you started HVAC-R training your senior year of high school. So what pushed you to jump into the trade so early?
So I had all my I don't know what to call them, but all my stuff that I needed to graduate high school early.
Credits or whatever. So
I had all my credits. So I could do like BS classes for the entire day, or I could go to tech school and I would get out to eat for lunch every day.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the route I went. The reason I picked heating and air is because my dad suggested the heating and air, and he's a mechanic, so he had nothing to do with heating and air at all, but he was telling me heating and air is never going to go away. It's always going to be needed. So it was a nice trade to learn. So I did that. And, tech school is what you make it. Mm-hmm. If you want to blow through it, you're going to blow through it. But, nothing's as good as hands-on once you get out.
Yeah, that's cool. So did you go to like a vocational, or was it like an accredited like trade school, or what was it?
Yeah, so I went to TCAT of Clarksville.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard a lot about that through some friends I have on the western side of the state. They talk about that program.
Yeah, I went to TCAT in Clarksville, and then I had the Tennessee Promise, so they paid for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just had to pay for books, and that was it. So
how was that like trying to balance high school and doing that and everything else at the same time? Was that a little bit challenging for you, or was it fun?
I just had to get up a little bit earlier, in which I'm not a morning person at all.
It comes of age. You'll get there eventually.
Yeah. So I would have to get up a little bit earlier because I was driving past my high school, like past about 45 minutes to go to class. And doing that, and I would come back to school because I would still have half a day,
Mhm.
and I would just be a teacher's assistant for gym. So I was just hanging out in the gym, and then I had baseball practice, and so I mean, it wasn't that bad when I was in high school at all, to be honest.
Nice. That's funny. That's funny. I did a vocational school my junior senior year, so half the day I do electrical work. At vocational school, we built houses and we'd wire the houses and do stuff to school, and that was probably the only reason I made it through high school. Like I couldn't do it. Like I have ADHD, and sitting there was excruciating. In my senior year, I planned it perfect, so I had vocational in the morning, and we had a block 8, which was like 4 classes one day, 4 classes the next day, and so I had vocational in the morning. I'd go to lunch and I'd come back and I'd have my class I had to do like third period both days. And then fourth period, I had study hall. And I figured out if you never show up, they just don't think you're in study hall. So I never showed up. So I'd go to third period and I'd just leave. I just walk out
Yeah.
and go to my car. And no one ever said nothing to me for the entire senior year. I just walked out like I was supposed to every single day and got away with it. So I don't know if you can do that anymore, but back then you
Yeah.
could do it. So. But yeah, vocational saved me from actually graduating high school because I don't think I would have done it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I mean, regular school, I was a straight C student. I was doing bare minimum
Mhm.
at times. Just school was not for me, so I knew I didn't want to go to college.
Yeah. Yeah, if I applied myself and actually had fun, it wasn't bad, but I no, I zero interest in going to college. Like I said, I barely made it out of high school, so.
Yeah.
So, did they help you find a job? I know you spent 4 years, doing HVAC and refrigeration for gas stations. Did they kinda help find that job for you, or.
No, not necessarily. I did a co-op from the time I graduated high school. I still had like 4 months left to finish of tech school.
Mhm,
So I graduated high school, and I told my professor at the time, I told him that I wanted to take a 2 month break to go on like a senior trip or whatever.
mhm.
And he was like, well, instead of that, why don't I sign you up for a co-op? And so, not a great vacation, but
No, no
um,
vacation for you. You go to work.
yeah. So I did a co-op for about 2 months, and it was residential heating and air. And I soon found that I did not want to do that. So once I went back to school, graduated, my dad at the time was working. The company that I worked for they hauled fuel, they did everything.
Mhm.
And so he was an 18-wheeler mechanic for them. So they had their own maintenance team, and I basically joined on there. He basically got me the foot in the door there.
So that's cool. That's probably a wide variety of, stuff to see too with gas stations and doing all that. It's probably a big learning curve too, though.
Oh, it was massive. And then, so I was at the working on the gas stations for about 2 months. And really, I was just changing filters and stuff like that at the beginning, cleaning coils and stuff like that. And I had two other heating and air guys that worked with me. And we took care of probably about 100 stores at the time.
Holy smokes, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Um, so while I was out changing filters, they were doing all the service work and everything like that. And they got in an argument. And so both of them quit. And so then it was 100 stores on me.
Oh, no. That
Yeah,
that's trial by fire, man.
it is. It is. And so I had to learn quick. I made a lot of mistakes, but I about a year in it. It took me about a year to get fully confident in the stuff that I was working on.
That's crazy. So you did that for 4 years, and what made you decide something you wanted to change, or you decided, "Hey, let's go check out, the food service repair industry?"
So honestly, I didn't even know really about the food service repair industry. I had worked on the fryers and the gas stations and things like that, and maybe a warmer here and there, but nothing really hot side at all.
Mm,
Um, so it never even crossed my mind. But the company that I worked for ended up getting bought out by a bigger company, and it was pretty apparent that they wanted to go their direction with things instead of keeping things how they were, which I totally get. So then I looked on Indeed, and I had found the food service repair industry and things, and I just went from there. I reached out, and the recruiter there was quick. Like he got me an interview quick.
yeah, the recruiters for we work for the same parent company, but those guys do not mess around, man. When they find somebody,
Yeah, but he had saw that I had the refrigeration background and a little bit of hot side, and he jumped right on it. And I've loved it here since, to be honest. I
yeah,
don't really have a complaint.
this industry, man, it's a fun industry. And like you said, you didn't even know it existed. There was fryers, at the gas station you worked at and stuff. And that's what so many people realize is that we're kind of like just a hidden little trade, a hidden little section of trades. And that's really why we do this. We're just trying to promote it and show off people in it. And like, hey, this is a viable career. You can make some money. You can have some fun. You can grow. You can advance. You don't have to be a tech your entire life. And that's just what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, here you can be as successful as you want to be. If you want to dedicate your time and, you know, take the extra step and do the extra trainings and stuff like that. I mean, money's not a factor. Like you're gonna get what you owe.
Yeah, and I tell people that all the time. They're like, "How do you get to where you're at?" And I was like, "Never stop learning. Do it on your own." I can't get in trouble for saying this, but I'm like, the company you work for is only going to train you for what they need you to do. But if you want to do more, you're going to have to push the issue with your company. You're going to have to do it on your own. You're going to have to figure out a way. And guess what? When you figure out that way, you're going to make a lot more money.
Yeah.
It's common sense, man. And but yeah, like you said, people, you get what you put in. If you just want to be a 8 hour a day, 9 hour a day, work on 2 or 3 different lines, you can do that and you can make decent money. But if you want to be the top tech, you're going to want to work on everything. You're going to want to, do what you got to do to be there.
Yeah, I saw the inside of a garland and I was like, I gotta know what everything does. I saw all the boards in there. I was like, I gotta know.
I love Garland, man. So many people are so terrified of them. I don't work on as much as I'd like to, but every time I work on one, I just absolutely love it. And then they're
I
fun.
I get to work on them. I mean, we have a lot of stores down here that have garlands, so I get to work on them pretty good amount. Um, I probably work on them the most at our branch because the other two guys who are garland techs live much further south than I do. So anything north of Nashville or in Nashville, usually me.
Nice. Yeah, Garland. If you get good at Garland, you can probably figure out about anything because there's a lot of stuff in there, man. Uh, I I love them. So that's cool that you like those and you're passionate about those. And because if you can figure that stuff out, you can probably figure anything out.
Yeah, the way that I look at it is if I keep working on, refrigeration over and over, I get bored.
Mhm.
It's the same thing over and over. So I like to work on as much things as possible or, have a challenge. Like I have to have a challenge or I get bored.
Yeah, I told my boss the same thing. I have ADHD, and I'll be like, "Hey, I want to do some refrigeration calls." Like, "Oh, no, no, we need you to do this, this, and this." I'm like, "No, you have to give me some refrigeration calls because I need to see something different, or I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna get bored. It's gonna be bad for you. It's gonna be bad for me, and everybody's gonna be miserable. So you better give me some refrigeration calls so I can get away from this for a little bit. Give me some refrigeration calls for a couple of days, and then okay, I'll go back to combis now. I'll go back to this. Like, just give me a couple of days to decompress and look at something different, and we're good. That's all I need."
I just went to we had a guy come down from Rationale and do a little class.
Mhm.
And I've only got to work on one since, but I know that you work on Rationale. How do you like Rationale?
Oh, I love them. They're a blast. I love any combi oven, but Rationale, there's not a whole lot to actually utilize a boiler anymore,
Yeah.
and Rationale does. So that's like a totally different animal than most combis anymore. And I love them. They're a challenge. Every once in a while, I run into something kicks my butt, and luckily I have the right people's phone numbers that I can text and call and be like, "Hey, this is doing this. What is it?" And then generally it's something stupid that I overlooked, but they're a blast. I mean, once you get some time on them, you'll like them. I know you're pretty big into Unox.
Yeah, yeah. I saw you had the Unox guys on and listened to y'all's pod, and you were talking about the oven that you can talk to them through.
Yeah.
I actually got to do a startup on one of those not too long ago.
Did you? Nice.
Yeah.
My two sons work with me, and they just went to Unox like a week after I interviewed those guys, and they got to meet some of the guys I know over there. They were really excited. They luckily for me, they come back and are doing all the Unox calls now, so that free other stuff.
I love Unox. I love working on Unox.
I don't mind them at a school or a hospital or something, but the main place I work on them, I don't like working on them all.
Yeah, I think I could probably picture where you're talking about. But yeah,
It's just the pace to get them out to work behind them is the only problem.
yes, yes. But I mean, they're different.
Mhm.
I to me, they're much simpler
Mhm,
in a lot of terms. Um, I'm to the point now where I can read on the paper, what it's doing,
mhm.
and I can grab the part off the shelf and head there.
That's awesome. That first time fix is super valuable. And if you can figure that out and bring parts on the way, you're making your company so much more money. Your downtime for your customers that much better. That oven's looking better to the customer, which makes the manufacturer look better to the customer. It's a it's a pretty good thing to be able to do.
Uh, how many do you carry kits on your van?
So how we do ours is we have dedicated techs for certain lines. Like they'll be the number one guy. So I'm kind of weird because I'm not really I'm a number one guy for Garland and for Frymaster, but I'm not the number one combi guy. But I carry a ton of rationale parts. I carry a ton of Alto-Shaam parts. So just depends on what it is. We do have a few like big go boxes if we're starting to do some stuff that we'll carry, but no, I don't really have kits. We have a couple at the shop, but we try to send a dedicated tech, and I just play cleanup most of the time and follow behind guys when they struggle.
Yeah. Yeah, I carry two kits in my van, Unox and Garland. Sometimes if like there'll come a time where I'll be doing a whole lot of Middleby, and so I'll carry some Middleby kits, but that's about it, other than just like the regular parts and things like that.
Nice, nice. No, I'm like we have minimum stock for certain manufacturers, and I carry that for Alto-Shaam, Garland, uh, Frymaster, and Rationale, and all my refrigeration stuff, and just a few generic things here and there, and that's about it. But like you said, if we do get a call, like we were part of a Observer program, and you have to take the go box, so I have to go get the go box, and come back, and it is what it is. It doesn't bother me. Just more work.
Yeah. The Frymaster calls, I enjoy working on Frymaster. I don't know enough about Frymaster yet.
That's what I'm on all these Facebook groups, and all these guys complain about this, complain about that, and they complain about Frymaster, and I'm like, they're junk. That's what the guys say. I'm not saying that, but the guys say they're junk or whatever. And my first thing is like, do you ever work on them? Oh, every once in a while. I'm like, are you trained on them? No. Do you understand them? No. I was like, oh, so you're calling them junk because you're not trained on them. You don't understand them, so you have an uninformed opinion, and you're just bad mouthing for no reason. And most of the time they go away.
Yeah, there's several guys like that to
Yeah.
where we got guys that'll say, "Oh yeah, I don't want training on this because they're not good," and I'm like, "Dude, they're good. They're good. I'm telling you, they're good."
Yeah, I mean, most brands are good. Now, of course, you do have your bottom of the line stuff. Everything has its place in the market industry. But the straight calls something junk because you don't understand how it works or you're not trained on. It's just ignorance on their part.
Yeah, I think with the specialty heating equipment is so much different than like specialty cooling equipment.
Mhm.
Like it's just so vastly different. You have to know if you're like a dedicated tech in multiple hot things. I feel like you have to know a lot more in in the sense of what this board actually does and things like that.
Well, I mean, take Garland for example. You got a 208 three-phase grill, and you have 208 AC. You've got like six different voltages. You got like 5 volts DC, AC voltages, DC voltages. It's everything under the sun.
Yeah,
And it's like you got to know what to check where. And luckily on the new ones, they got a lot of indicator lights that save your life. You can just kind of look and see what's going on. Like, oh, that light's not on and it should be off, or that light's on and it should be off. And that's way. But man, there's voltages on top of voltages on top of voltages, and then it's like, oh, I think it's AC. No, it's DCs. And you check it on AC. It's like, oh, I don't have voltage here. And, oh no, it's DC. It's there. I just don't know what I'm doing. So
yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Luckily, I never had training on the world grills. I've only had them on the newer Garlands.
yeah, the pearls.
So like, if I look at a world grill, I don't know, but if I look at a newer one, I'm like, okay, yeah,
Yeah, those world grills were a pain in the butt. Now, you probably never even seen a 9501. If you seen 9501 at McDonald's, you'd be like, what in the world is this thing? So, those were fun. There's a few of them still out there somehow. They don't even make parts for them. I think it's like a black market for parts. If you have an old grill that sells good parts, you probably sell them on the black market and make some money, I bet. So
yeah. Most of our like stores that are running Garland have the newer Garlands.
nice, nice. Yeah. I do a lot. Most of mine's at Chick-fil-A is where I do most of my garland work at. So it's kind of, I guess it's kind of nice for me because I'm only dragging around a single lane versus dragging around a 2 or 3 lane grill to work.
Yeah. Whenever you got to pull it out, it gets tough.
It makes it pretty easy because I generally diagnose it and then I pull it to the back of the store to change the part and bring it back up. I've been talking to all my Chick-fil-A stores, especially the new ones. I'm like, hey, you need to talk to whoever's designing your store and put one outlet in the back. That way we can push the grills back here. We can push the fryers back here. We can plug them in, troubleshoot everything back here out of the way.
Yeah, that would be so much better. So much.
Great, because you could gap it back there, have it rocking and rolling, and then push it back under the hood, do your chicken test or your beef integrity test, and then you're out the door. I'm like, dude, this would be amazing.
Because most of our Chick-fil-A's around here don't want you to come until like 2.
Yeah,
because they're so busy.
Yeah, I'm either in there like 5:30 in the morning when they roll in, or it's like 2:00, or after hours. And it's just, and Chick-fil-A don't care. They dictate when you come in, and
yeah,
I never had a problem with Chick-fil-A. I love them. They're nice people. They feed you. They'll clean up. They're like, oh, what do you need? They're always real helpful and nice. But yeah, they're very demanding. But I get it, man. They're a madhouse.
They are. I mean, they're doing tons of business, so I totally get it. Whenever one of their garlands goes down, they need it now.
Yeah, heaven forbid if it's a mall store. Do you have any mall stores where you work at?
Yeah, we got a few.
And it's like one grill, and it's like a
Yeah.
whole thing. You're like, you want me to work on this? I was like, I can't even troubleshoot this. I'm like, how do I get down there? I'm like, I got a tool bag. I'm like, and they don't come until 9:30 and they open at 10. I'm like, you want me to figure this thing out in 30 minutes and be out of your way? I don't think so.
Yeah, no, the mall ones are tough because they are running one grill, which is, I mean, I get it. They're unlimited space, but maybe like fit in a 2-lane or something.
Have you seen a food truck yet for Chick-fil-A?
We used to have one that would roll through here, but I never got to work on one.
So they're kind of cool. There's no grill. It's only fried foods. And it's wild. Like the ones I worked on, I was doing they had Fry Master open fryers, which was weird because that's like the only place I've ever seen them at is on the food truck. And they still have the pressure fryers, Henny Pennies, but like I was there doing a warranty call, and they had an in-house guy was changing a filter pump on a Pitco, not Pitco, but on a Henny Penny. And like, I was like, how are you going to do this? He's like, watch this. He took me outside, and the outside of the truck opened up.
Oh, wow.
You could stand there and just reach right in and change the filter pump, and then just close the door. And like, I was like, that is the coolest thing.
Yeah, I wish all filter pumps were that easy to change.
Oh, yeah, that was cool. Like, he just opened up the side of the truck and just reached in and changed it. I was like, this is amazing, dude. I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
I'm sure it's at perfect height, too. It's probably like right here.
Oh, yeah. It was wild. So, like, all they do is they load that thing full of coolers and like with chicken and everything, and like they go someplace and they sell out. They stay there till they sell out. When they sell out, they just drive back, clean it up. It was cool, but I wasn't a fan of food truck work. But I didn't have to really do anything. I had to babysit a fryer for 5 hours and get paid, so I couldn't complain.
That's not bad at all.
No. So you're a Sofesa master technician, correct?
Yes.
So what has that done for you? I mean, I'm a master tech, and at first I didn't realize the importance of it, and I do a lot for Sofesa now. I teach, and I'm on some committees and stuff. I wanted to be a board member, but I couldn't. But that master certification, a lot of people don't understand the work that really takes to get it. Some people can pass it pretty easy because it's you're reading books and testing. But what does that really mean to you being a master technician for Sofesa?
So whenever I first got hired on, they kept preaching, take your Sofesa test. And I was like, I don't, necessarily care about becoming a master at the time. Mm-hmm. And then I started reading into the books, and it's just like, there's so much knowledge within the books. Like, even if it's not even a test question, mm-hmm. you're still going to learn something from that. It doesn't matter if you use it one time, it was worth reading, being a master, I just feel like it's really just something you wear. Like, I try to carry myself a little different, Yeah. But yeah, being a master, I love to brag about being a master. It's one of my favorite things.
That's what I like to hear, because we're doing a lot of cool things behind the scenes at Sofesa right now for the Master Tech. We do have a competition coming out next year, Top Tech Throwdown, and we're taking master technicians from each region. We're pairing them against each other in a contest on hot side and the cold side, and then the winner of the regionals get a bunch of prizes, and then they get to go to a national competition and compete at Festa HQ for like all kinds of prizes. It's going to be pretty cool, and I'm excited to announce it. The website will be up next week, and once the website's up, I can really go into detail. But we're trying to do a lot more to emphasize, the master technicians and to show them off what they are and what it really means. Because a lot of companies don't do it, or a lot of guys don't understand it, and it kind of gets a bad rep. But it's if you really appreciate what it means and what it took to get there, I think it's cool. So.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely worth taking all the tests and everything like that. I mean, you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn no matter what. So you're gonna become a better technician at the end of the day.
So, you talked a little bit about, the books. So which three do you have?
My office has them, but I took we had Steam. We have, they might be older now, the books that I was reading,
I
to be
mean,
honest.
which three did you pass to get your master's?
I passed the Steam, the gas, and the electrical.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So there's four practices. There's electric, gas, steam, and refrigeration. And, if you do three of them, you get to be your master certified tech. You get to patch for your shirt, and some companies do stuff on the vans. Everybody's a little different. So that's really cool. So right now, they're actually changing away from the books, and it's all LMS. It's all online now. So it's a guided thing online. It's all new material, all new tests. It's pretty cool. I'm excited for it. Three are live. The only one that's not live is refrigeration. It's the first year. It should be live. So, but it takes work to actually be a master tech. You have to be able to read, understand what the book is talking about, and then apply it. It's a lot more than what people do think it is, and that's kind of disheartening that some guys don't really understand or take it serious or care. They just think it's a joke. But
Yeah, I mean, but that's the difference in treating this as a job and as a career.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
If you treat it as a career, you're gonna want to, be the best.
Nice. So, how did you get into Garland and Unox? Did you see a Garland and just, hey, I want to work on these, I want to be trained on these, or?
You go into a McDonald's and you see the compression. You see it come down, and you're like, wow, I need to know about that. And you see the branding, and you say it's Garland, and like, if my manager says something, hey, we have a Garland training down at corporate. Yeah, I'd love to go. So that's basically how that worked. Unox kind of came out of nowhere, to be honest. At least to me, I didn't know about it. And then they kind of took over by storm. We have so many Unoxes in the Nashville region, to be honest.
Yeah, they really took off during COVID. You went to training, so they probably gave you the whole story. Like, they make most of their own parts and about everything. If they don't, they purchase the company that makes it and then bring it in house. So they really controlled a lot of their own inventory during COVID, and it really led to them growing and taking off what they have. They're a great product, man. They are fabulous in schools and hospitals and stuff like that. There's just one place I can't work on them in, and it is what it is. I'll be in trouble. I'll have my podcast HR department on me if I keep going.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean.
That's a couple of great product lines. Anything else you've been trained on as far as product lines?
I don't really do it anymore, but I did a whole lot of multiplex.
Okay.
But I used to do all the frappe machines and everything like that.
That seems like come and go in ways. Like, it's kind of weird with those.
Yeah, it is, and they're simple. I mean, once you get an understanding of them, they're not bad to work on at all. But we don't really do a lot of multiplex anymore. Most of ours is south of Nashville. We got a guy down there who does most of it. So
it's broken wires on blend motors.
Exactly.
That's what it always is. It seems like broken wire on a blend motor. It seems like every single time I had to work on one on the weekend. Like, hey, you got a blend motor? I go in the shop, go pick it up. Got there, I'm like, yeah, broken wire on a blend motor. Okay. That's funny. So, anything else you're looking to get trained on, or you want to get trained on?
Definitely FryMaster. I'd love to learn more about FryMaster. Every time I go to a FryMaster call, I just feel a little bit unprepared, and I don't like, I hate feeling like that.
Where do you really work on them at? Is it McDonald's? Is it Taco Bell?
Yeah, oftentimes it's we do work on a few at Taco Bell's and stuff like that, but it's, I've gotten decent at them now, to where
Mhm.
I can kind of narrow down everything. But, once you become like dedicated in a whole lot of things, it gets tough remembering all these passwords and stuff.
So we are lucky. We have a password section on our website that like lists them all, so you can like go there, like
Oh,
a
wow.
portal, and you like go there and it has all the passwords listed. But I try to save them in my phone. Um, yeah. What threw me the most is when Garland changed the password for Chick-fil-A, and I had no idea
Yes.
what. I was so mad. I was like, "Why isn't this working?" And I texted the guy at Garland. He was, "Oh, we changed the passwords last week. It's this now." I was like, "Oh, thanks." It's like,
Yeah. I had no idea if they rolled out the new password or anything. I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah. He was like, "We sent a memo out." I was like, "Yeah, you sent it to someone that didn't send it to anybody else." So yeah, that was pretty funny because I was flipping out. I was like, "Hey, this dumb store changed their password," and he's like, "No, they didn't."
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought happened too. But you were asking me where I usually work on the Garlands at. I do McDonald's, Wendy's, Chick-fil-A. Those three are the main,
Mhm,
but I mean I have worked on them at like there's like a Highway 55 Burgers.
mhm.
I think they're I feel like they're regional. I don't feel like they're very big. And then I've actually worked on them at a Dairy Queen.
Yeah, yeah. Dairy Queen has a huge release form right now that I think about every Dairy Queen's getting one. So yeah, if you got Dairy Queen in your market, you're probably going to see one. Uh,
Yeah.
I did a little bit of Wendy's when they first rolled out. Most of mine are in my area are out of warranty now, so I don't really take care of them unless they can't get to them. Yeah, that was fun when Wendy's first rolled out, man, and they were throwing water on them. I was like, yeah, as well.
Yeah.
Change the fuse, pop the tops, pull the ground wire, and just turn it on and let it dry itself out and don't let no one touch it.
Yeah.
I'm like, first time I called,
Ours still call after warranty, so I guess I'm doing something right at the moment if they're still calling.
nice, nice. I haven't worked on the new hatchless designs where it's a sealed hatch versus the open hatch.
Oh, yes, yes, I know. I've worked on I maybe started up 2 or 3, maybe.
That just seems like a service nightmare. Oh, you got to change high limits. Let's split the platen. I'm like, oh, that's great. That's
Yeah, but
just
I
like
mean, with
high
the
limits.
Chick-fil-A design, you gotta split it anyway, so it's
Yeah.
like, I mean,
Well, and how many times do you got to split one Chick Fil A? Very rarely. So I guess
I've only ever had to do 1,
yeah,
so
I had to do one, and it's because when they made it, they didn't tighten the element, and it burnt the thing off it burnt the ring off the element.
oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was fun. So I had to split it, change the elements. Like, just go ahead, change the high limits, change everything, change the probes, do it all. I was like, what? They're like, yep, just do it all. Okay. I got
Mine, I had actually, I DM'd you on Instagram about it. It was an intermittent issue,
it. Mm-hmm.
and my mind was going because I believe I was getting a 41 ABC,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was cutting out the contactor.
Yeah.
And so instantly, my mind goes to high limits,
Okay.
working with Wendy's and McDonald's and things like that. But after talking to tech support, they had said something about their software. They had an issue with their software that it could throw that error at the time. And so I had the newest software, and I was like, it's got to be high limit. So I did the high limits, and we've been fine ever since. So
Nice. Nice. I've had a couple where like the board doesn't sense power. Like you can look on the screen, it says like 0 volts.
oh yeah,
I'm like, dude, there's power going to this board. Like, just change the board. I'm like, okay. I'm like, this is the dumbest thing in the world.
yeah. I think I've only ever had to change like maybe 2 of the power supply boards, the 24 volt. I think I've only ever had to change like 1 or 2.
I haven't changed one. I think something short took it out, but I've changed a couple of the relay boards and stuff like that. But they're not bad, man. I like them, and I think it's funny people freak out all the time. And I'm like, nope, give them to me. If you don't want them, I'll take every last one of them.
Yeah, I love working on Garland. It's something so different than everything else. It gives
No.
me a challenge.
So, what's one repair you feel especially confident with? Like, and which one still makes you stop and think? Which is your biggest challenge, and which is your best one to work on?
Mm. Easy repairs to me is always going to be a refrigeration call,
Yeah.
just because that's my background.
Well, you started in, yeah, it's got to be a go-to for sure.
Yeah, and then the tough ones are those intermittent issue calls, to where I had one that to where it would like blow a fuse every 2 weeks. It was yeah, and it turns out the cleaning ladies were coming in at every 2 weeks, and they would spray water and it would go up inside the unit and trip it out. But it took me several times going out there to figure out why it was happening.
Nice. Yeah, there's days where I still question myself, like, why do I want to do refrigeration again? I hate this. I just don't have patience, and that was the biggest learning curve for refrigeration. Is you have to have patience. So I always tell guys, if you start refrigeration, you go to hot side, you're gonna love it because results fast.
Yeah.
You go do a walk-in cooler and it starts dropping all of a sudden. It just hangs out, and you start second guessing everything you've ever done your entire life. Like, what did I do to deserve this? Why won't this thing cool down? Like, why does my mom hate me? It's terrible.
Yeah, no, you had the Colpack guys on,
Yep.
with the guy on a while ago, and he was talking about the newer A2Ls.
Mhm.
You know, I've worked on plenty of R290, but not really the was it a 454A?
454A, 454C is what they're using for Colpack's using. Yep.
Yeah, so that'll be a learning curve for me. So I'm pretty excited for that.
Yeah, they've got a couple of units out in the wild, and that's Tennessee. It's over in Western Tennessee. I want to get over their training facility and sit through one of his classes. He is a wealth of knowledge for the industry, and he loves what he does, and he's always excited to come on and talk about it. And I actually learned a lot from him on that episode because I haven't been to any A2L classes as far as what it pertains to us. I've seen a lot for comfort side,
Yeah.
not through, but just seeing stuff and read stuff. And he was the first person to really talk to about it on our side, and it made a ton of sense. And I'm not so worried about the flammability factor of it. Like you said, you've been doing R290 for years. Like,
Yeah.
what's a little something that can only catch fire in a perfect scenario? Like, I'm not worried about it. Everybody's like, oh, we need A2L rated tools. We need this. I'm like, A2L rated tools. I was like, I've been using the same vacuum pump for something that's flammable and explosive for 10 years. Why do I need A2L?
Exactly. It's like you'll see the same residential picture of an AC unit on fire 1,000 times. The one in a million that it's going to happen, but they're going to blast it all over because it's just.
I always say they just use that to sell tools. Like, they're using that fear factor to scare people into buying tools. And I get it. Most of your A2L rated tools are sealed or intrinsically sealed, and they're DC motors versus AC motors, and you cut down that spark stuff. And I understand it, but it seems like they've gone overboard. Like, when Fieldpiece has a A2L rated S-Man 480, I'm like, what? Like, what they need to do to make it A2L rated? I guess
I don't know.
I don't get it, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I use my S-Man right now for A2L. If I'm not supposed to, it's news to me.
I use them for everything. I don't care. I'm like, what's
Yeah.
Like, I've made videos where I was leak checking a Delfield freezer at a Chili's, and I dump a bunch of R290 in it, and I'm like, man, I can hear it leaking, but there's nothing back here. And I'm in a Chili's, and they're open, and there's a bank of 5 gas fryers. There's 2 gas grills. There's pizza ovens, and I open the door, and the evaporator covers off, and you can see liquid propane squirting out. And I zoom around, look at the entire kitchen. I just close the door and push it back up against the wall. And I'm like, I found the leak.
Yeah.
And people are losing their mind. I'm like, dude, it's such a little amount of refrigerant. It's like a lighter. It's not going to do anything. It's just close the door. It can't get air in there. It's not going to do anything. Chill out, people.
The A2Ls don't really worry me. It's it's not much different. I mean, you said Jay was saying that it's pretty similar to the pressures of 404. Is basically what he was saying. So that won't be bad at all.
No, I've played around a little bit on some PT charts, looking at it and stuff. I think it'd be all right. It's not going to be nothing to freak out about. So, all right, what we got next? So, how do you stay motivated as a young tech in such a demanding industry?
I mean, you can never figure it all out. You're never going to figure it all out. You learn all the time.
Yep.
Going new places, that definitely helps. I love, if you go to the same, McDonald's or whatever it is over and over, yeah, it gets a little tiring. But once you're going to new places, you're going to a school one day, or a jail one day, you're going on base the other day. It's something different every day.
That's cool. One of my favorite places to work in is the 5-star restaurants. And chefs always crack me up because they'll be plating it up, and it's they're cleaning the plate, they're making it look like art, and I'm like, And they're like, "Are you hungry?" I'm like, "No, I'm fascinated by like what you were doing." I was like, "That looks like art." I'm like, the pride they put in just presenting that plate. I'm like that's freaking amazing.
Yeah. No, I mean, I never thought about it, but until I got into this industry, I always said, if I wasn't doing this, I feel like I would have liked being a chef, to be honest.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They do some fun stuff, so I can see that. So what you're a young tech. You started in the trades at 18 years old, 17 years old. What's probably the biggest misconception older technicians have about the younger generation of techs?
I mean that like we're all lazy or something like that,
Yeah.
It's person by person. Everybody's different. Um,
Well, I mean, and you know, I'm 43. I have two sons that are 23 and 20 that work for me. And people always say that, oh, the younger generation's lazy or they're dumb or they don't want to learn. But then you get the guys that are training them, they don't share the information. They're teaching them like crap. They're doing shortcuts. It's just like you gotta give them a chance, man. Don't generalize somebody based on your perception on somebody. I mean, give them a chance because I tell you what, I see some 18, 19-year olds that will outwork anybody out there right now, man. And they're hungry for it. Now, I will say that most of them don't want to work a million hours a week. And hey, so be it. If you don't want to work a million hours a week, that's on you. But yeah, don't generalize an entire generation of younger techs just because you say they're lazy. Because I guarantee there's a lot of them out there that outwork me, outwork a lot of other guys.
when I was in tech school, I had this one kind of defining moment. I was kind of doing tech school as just like, a way out of school at the time.
Mhm.
And I was passing all my tests and everything, but I was sitting at my desk one day and I was just had my book on my lap and I was just playing on my phone. You
Mhm.
know, I'd probably been there for like an hour, just playing on my phone, whatever it was. And my teacher came up to me. He said, I'm not going to get mad at you for playing on your phone or anything, but you want more out of this, don't you? Than just getting out of school. And I was like, okay, yeah. And ever since then, I was really on it after that.
Nice. That's cool. Uh, you know, it just took that one little thing, like, hey, you're gonna get out what you put into it, so pay attention. It worked. So, what advice would you give a 17 or 18-year-old that was contemplating HVAC-R, commercial kitchen repairs career? What would you tell them?
I mean, if you love problem solving, like this is the spot for it.
Mhm.
Like you're gonna get satisfaction whenever you walk away from the unit. You get it every time. Like that feeling doesn't go away. You're
Yeah,
gonna you go home and you know that you put your all into a unit. You're not gonna go back out there for a long time.
that's cool. That's a great point. Um, you always I keep talking about like kids because they're my kids, but uh, my son was a jock. He never touched tools. I never thought he'd work with his hands, and but it's really turned out that he's gonna be better than me pretty fast because he has that "you're not gonna beat me" mentality from sports and is like rolled
Yes.
into this, and it's wild to watch because like he will not. He's like a dog on a bone. He is not gonna stop, dude. It's fun to watch, but man, it can be frustrating. I bet.
Yeah. No, I was a three-sport athlete, so I've like and I went to a small school, so I've always thought like,
Yeah,
I'm the man. And so once I got here and you get that sense of like whenever I got thrown out, those two guys left and I'm by myself, like it's swim or drown at that point, and I came out. But the confidence has always been there. It takes time to gain the confidence.
yeah.
Like I said, it took me like a year to feel confident walking up on anything refrigeration.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. So, do you have a goal for the next 5 years of your time in this industry?
So right now I am studying to get my mechanical license.
Nice.
Um, After that, I've always said I wanted to go into management, but seeing what they deal with every day, I'm not so sure about it sometimes.
But I consider it herding cats, man. Herding cats is what it's like dealing with technicians, especially if you have. I am probably not. I'll admit I'm not the easiest person to get along with. I know more than most techs know as far as like how the office goes and stuff, and like I'm probably a pain in the butt to deal with. And people are always like, you can come work for me. I'm like, no, you don't want me, man. Like, you do not want to deal with me outside of at work. I was like, outside of work, I'm great, but at work, I am a pain in the butt, man. But yeah, I don't think I could do management. I'd lose my mind and fire everybody, or I'd get in trouble, or I'd be at HR, get sued. Who knows what would go on with me being a manager? So
Yeah. And then you're the one that's got to talk to the angry customer at the end. So it's if something goes wrong,
yeah,
whether it's a scheduling issue or whatever it is, you got to own up to it, whatever it is. So I know that could be tough.
nice. So what's one piece of equipment that you think every young tech should learn how to repair inside and out?
Inside an hour?
Inside and out. So what's
Inside and out.
yeah, but someone starting in this job, what's something they should learn, right off the rip? What should they tackle first?
My big thing is electricity.
Mhm.
Electricity would take you very far,
Mhm.
especially on the hot side. So just like a traditional convection oven, if you can learn a traditional convection oven and then learn the gas side of it as well,
Mhm.
like that is a good base to have, because it's going to lead you into, the flat tops, and then eventually you work your way up into the more harder things. But I really think a convection oven will take you far, because there's unlimited brands of them. So they're all different.
Yeah. The weirdest thing about a gas convection oven, it's like a mini furnace.
Yes.
It's the same exact in-shot burners, the same exact gas valves. I broke a hot surface igniter on an oven, and I went to the supply house and bought one from a furnace that was the exact same model number and stuck it in there. And it's been there for like 7 years. So I don't want to, but it's not the same exact part because it's the same exact part.
Yeah, they probably bought it from the same manufacturer and everything.
Oh yeah, so that's a good point. If you can learn a convection oven and get it down, and that's a good one to start on, because you can get to everything fairly easy. It's not super complicated, but it gives you enough to where you got to start chasing down circuits. You got some triple switches, you got door switches. You've got some stuff in there that's gonna get you started, but it's gonna challenge you a little bit at first, and that's a great point to start with.
Especially if you get lucky with the one that's got like a sliding door on it, where the entire guts will pull out. That's nice.
I like the ones where they gotta adjust the door chains and people get them so far out of line. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, how did you do this? I'm like, my son will call me just like frustrated. I'm like, look, dude, just get them to where they almost close and start adjusting them and just push it in and see what happens. And just
yes. I had one of my coworkers call me one time because he had just got Unox trained, and with a Unox gasket, you have to start in the corner if you're putting a new one on, or it won't match up. So he kept starting in the middle, and it would not match up for him. I was like, dude, you got to start in the corner.
I start everyone in the corner because my son, he's like, this gas is too big. I'm like, no, it's not. He's like, it won't go in. There's like all this extra. I'm like, no, it's not. Start in the corners and then work towards the middle. And then you kind of just like push it out and like push it in.
Yeah.
And it took him forever to understand that. He's like, it's just too big. I'm like, no, dude, you think it's too big, but it's not. I swear to God, it's perfect.
What training do y'all do at General Parts for, like, say there's a new guy who comes on, say he's just mechanically inclined?
So generally it's just hands-on. We're going to send him with a technician, and we're just going to let him get out there in the field and get to it. I wish we had a little bit better structured, but we really don't. But it's pretty much just, if the guy is, he's mechanically inclined, he's going to ride somebody. We do the training and limited stuff and send them out there. But most of the time it's just hands-on, riding with a guy and having someone explain to them what they're doing and just about that. And then we do have manufacturers come in and do training. I do also train for FryMaster. I'll be training for Garland here soon and doing some other stuff. But that's about it. Just put them with somebody and just make sure they're learning. I just got to make sure that they're actually engaging and being involved instead of just standing there staring on their phone or not paying attention. That drives me nuts. Ask questions, be involved. Want to get your hands dirty. We've had a lot of young guys here lately, and most of them like push me out of the way, wanting to get their hands dirty right on the very first day, and I love it. Like, get in there and show me what you can do. I don't care if I'm going to stop you before you're going to do anything that's going to hurt you or hurt the equipment, but I want to see you get in there and get dirty, man.
We started doing this thing. It's the training. It's like you'll go to our corporate office for 3 weeks.
Training and limited programs, what it is. Yeah,
is the same thing. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think that's great.
Yeah, so it's all across the USG. So There's actually 4 campuses. We have the one in Texas. We have the one at your corporate office in South Carolina, Columbia, or Lexington, South Carolina, whatever it's called. Then there's one at my corporate office in Bloomington, Minnesota. And then there's one out on the West Coast, a place out there. So we have 4, and we're actually getting ready to launch a refrigeration one first quarter next year.
I think that's great because going to tech school isn't for everybody, to be
No,
honest.
no.
Some guys just need to get out there, and there's not a lot of new guys coming to the field. Like, I don't know, none of my friends are doing even close to what I'm doing, you know? They want to be linemen or whatever they are. And I wouldn't trade my job for theirs. I promise you that.
No, that's I mean, we deal with dangerous stuff, but that's a whole nother level, man.
Yeah.
You watch those guys hanging from helicopters doing the transmission lines. Like, these guys are insane.
Yes, I've never got to do a HVAC install where you get the helicopter to drop it off on the roof. I've never got to do one of those.
I've done crane jobs, but I've never done a helicopter job. I've done some pretty cool crane jobs, but never a helicopter job. Maybe one day I'll get to that lucky. So have you had any mentors along the way that really stuck out that, helped define who you are as a technician?
Yeah. Whenever I was by myself for that year or two, really figuring things out, I had a guy, he was an old timer I could call. And he did everything beer can cold and everything like that. So if I was having like some really hard thing, then I would give him a call. And at the time, I was having to sub everything out. If I couldn't make it to it, I was having to do all the subbing too. And so I would sub him out, but I would stay and I would just watch him do what he's doing. Because I would try to diagnose it first. And I'm like, I got nothing here. I can remember distinctly there was a stuck solenoid valve and I could not figure it out. It kept popping all the tops off the beers and I could not figure it out. And he came out there and showed me what was wrong. And he was really good. I think he's retired now. And then I had a supervisor at my old company and he was really good too. He knew more about heating and air than I did. So anything he would told me, I just tried to really take in.
That's cool. That's cool. It's important to have those guys you can talk to, especially like an old timer that's been doing it for years and years and years. If you can find one that's willing to open up and teach you, that's a person you want to lean on for as long as you can.
Yeah, one of the best things he taught me was just stay calm, no matter what. Just stay calm, and because if you start getting frustrated, you're gonna make a mistake. And then you say you left the gas valve off, and then you diagnose for 30 more minutes because you thought you fixed it, and now you don't know what's going on, and it's just you left it off. That's all it is.
We've all been there. We've all been there. I won't hold it against you. Man. Well, we are coming up on an hour, Jacob. I really appreciate you coming on, man. You've got a pretty cool story. It's awesome to see 26 years old, the things you've done, in 8, 9 years in the trades. And I look forward to seeing where you're going next, man. If you ever need anything, you can always DM me. You've got my cell phone number now. But I really appreciate you coming on. Do you want to share your social media? I don't know how active you are on there. Some people love to share it. Some people don't.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really got into like the showing off my work and stuff on social media just because I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I get a one-track mind to where I just get on the unit and just go.
I'm the same way, man. I will record like troubleshooting and then I get into it and I'm like, I recorded nothing of the fix. I'm like, well, that was kind of worthless and pointless. So I get it. So, but I really appreciate you coming on, man. And I wish you the best and have a good night, man.
Yep. I really appreciate the opportunity.
See ya.
See ya.
If you guys would, please consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the podcast. It really helps us grow and helps us know which direction to move in. Also, if you have any suggestions for guests, please email me at commercialkitchenchronicles@gmail.com. Or if you want to be a guest, email me. Love to have you guys on. Thanks a lot. See you next week.